Overpaid, not good enough. United's billionaire owner launches blistering attack on players. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the co-owner of faltering English Premier League club Manchester United, has criticised some of the club's players as not good enough, adding, "Some probably are overpaid." Welcome to our new edition of News from Carrington. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to support the channel. The British billionaire, who took charge of footballing operations at United in February last year, referenced Rasmus Højlund, Andre Onana and Case Moreau, plus Jadon Sancho and Antony, who are both on loan, as he spoke about players we are buying this summer that we didn't buy in an interview with the BBC. Ratcliffe said, "These are all things from the past, whether we like it or not. We've inherited those things and have to sort that out. For Sancho, who now plays for Chelsea and we pay half his wages, we're paying SG 17 million, 35 million Australian dollars, to buy him in the summer." Asked if he was suggesting those players were not good enough for United, Ratcliffe said, "Some are not good enough and some probably are overpaid, but for us to mold the squad that we are fully responsible for and accountable for will take time." After United, currently 14th in the Premier League, finished 8th last season and won the FA Cup, they opted to stick with boss Erik ten Hag. The Dutchman was subsequently sacked in October, being replaced by Ruben Amorim. Ratcliffe, chairman of petrochemicals giant Ineos, accepted the decision to keep ten Hag on was a mistake, and that the same applied to hiring Dan Ashworth as sporting director, a role he left in December. "I agree the Erik ten Hag and Dan Ashworth decisions were errors," Ratcliffe said. "I think there were some mitigating circumstances, but ultimately they were errors. I accept that and I apologize for that." Sir Jim Ratcliffe laments 5 Man United signings and names one fantastic player Amorim has to keep. Manchester United co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has suggested that Bruno Fernandes is his favourite current player, with the Ineos chief also revealing the 5 transfer mistakes and giving his honest verdict on Marcus Rashford. In a wide-ranging interview with BBC Sport, Ratcliffe did not hold back on the topics that Man United fans would love to hear about, including the future of head coach Ruben Amorim, who was appointed in the role only in November 2024 and is already said to be coming under pressure. One of the areas that Man United have made mistakes as a club is signing players for big transfer fees. Ratcliffe did not shy away from this controversial topic and lamented that Man United still had payments owed on players signed before he took control. The Ineos chief has revealed that the Red Devils need to make a £17 million payment for Jadon Sancho this summer, with the English winger leaving on loan for Chelsea at the start of the season. The Man United co-owner has revealed that the Premier League clubs still owe payments for winger Antony, midfielder Case Moreau, goalkeeper Andre Onana and striker Rasmus Højlund as well. Ratcliffe told BBC Sport, "If you look at the players we are buying this summer that we didn't buy, we're buying Antony, we're buying Case Moreau, we're buying Onana, we're buying Højlund, we're buying Sancho. These are all things from the past, whether we like it or not. We've inherited those things and have to sort that out. For Sancho, who now plays for Chelsea and we pay half his wages, we're paying £17 million to buy him in the summer." Ratcliffe has also revealed that Man United have to keep Fernandes, saying that the Portugal international attacking midfielder is a fantastic player. When asked whether he was suggesting those players were not good enough for Man United, he said, "Some are not good enough and some probably are overpaid, but for us to mold the squad that we are fully responsible for and accountable for will take time. We've got this period of transformation where we move from the past to the future. There are some great players in the squad as we know. The captain is a fabulous footballer. We definitely need Bruno, he's a fantastic footballer." Fernandes has been on the books of Man United since 2020 when he joined from Sporting CP. The 30-year-old attacking midfielder has scored 91 goals and given 79 assists in 275 appearances for the Red Devils. Sir Jim Ratcliffe gives Marcus Rashford verdict. Ratcliffe has also shared his opinion on Man Utd's decision to send Rashford out on loan in the January transfer window. The English forward joined Aston Villa and is scheduled to stay at Villa Park until the end of the season. Team Talk understands that Villa have the option to make Rashford's loan deal permanent for £40 million. Ratcliffe said, "He's moved out of Manchester and maybe that's a good thing for him. I am very pleased he is doing well. It's good to see because he has got tremendous talent, but for whatever reason it wasn't working in Manchester for the past couple of seasons. But he is a very talented footballer, Rashford." Ratcliffe admits Ashworth among couple of errors as Man United chief makes bust by Christmas claim. Sir Jim Ratcliffe insists Manchester United would run out of money by Christmas, without his controversial cost-cutting strategies, and revealed his couple of errors in his year at the helm. Ratcliffe took control of football operations at United in February 2024, and his arrival has if anything seen a downturn in results, first under Erik ten Hag and now under Ruben Amorim, who has failed to lift his side from 14th in the Premier League table, having taken charge in November. The British billionaire has been heavily criticised for his cost-cutting strategies off the pitch, which have resulted in around 400 members of club staff losing their jobs amid rising ticket prices that have led to fan protests. Read more, ranking Sir Jim Ratcliffe 17 Man United F*** ups, 3, Ruben Amorim, 4, Dan Ashworth, 8, Kath Phipps. In an interview with BBC Sport, Ratcliffe admitted he knew he would face challenges at the club, but the scale of it is probably slightly bigger than he expected. "I don't enjoy reading the newspaper very much these days, I have to say," he added. "I know it's unpopular, and this period of change is uncomfortable for people, and some of the decisions we have to make are unpleasant. But they are necessary to put Manchester United back on to a stable footing. If people want to see Manchester United winning trophies again, then we have to do all this stuff. I recognize I'm unpopular at the moment, but I am prepared to be, and I can deal with being unpopular for a period of time because I believe that what we're doing is the right thing. Manchester United has come off the rails. We need to get it back on the rails, and I believe what we are doing will put it back on the rails and will finish up being where Liverpool or Real Madrid are today in the future. When the going gets tough, people need to show a bit of resilience, a bit of grit, don't wilt, and come out the other side fighting, and that's what we will do." And he revealed just how stark the financial situation at the club had been. Manchester United would have run out of cash by the end of this year, by the end of 2025, after having me put $300 million, £232.72 million, in, and if we buy no new players in the summer. We are in the process of change, and it's an uncomfortable period and disruptive, and I do feel sympathy with the fans. The simple answer is the club runs out of money at Christmas if we don't do those things. It was suggested to Ratcliffe that the club's level of debt and serving that debt, in the last financial year £37 million was paid in interest, was a more pressing issue for fans. "Interest is one of the costs, but it isn't the biggest cost in this club," he said. "And the club needs to get its house back into order so it's on a good financial footing for the future. Most clubs in the UK, most companies, have debt of some form. But if the club is really profitable, which I think it will be in years to come, then you can do the reverse. You can start paying down the debt. That's where I think Manchester United should be." Ultimately, if you look at running the club the size of Manchester United with an income of about £650 million, you spend a part of that £650 million on operating the club and part of it on the squad. Where do you want to spend the money? Do you want to spend it on operating the club, or do you want to spend it on the squad? Because if you spend it on the squad, you get better results. And at the end of the day, what's Manchester United here for if it's not to win trophies and silverware? What we want to do is invest in the best players in the world if we can, rather than spend it on, I'm afraid, free lunches. My only interest here is returning Manchester United back to greatness again. Ratcliffe, at least on face value, appears to have made a number of mistakes at United, but admitted to just two, including hiring sporting director Dan Ashworth, who left the role after just 5 months, with the co-owner claiming that chemistry wasn't right. "We are not perfect, and we are on a journey, and there have been a couple of errors along the way, but I think in the main all the things we are doing are the right things for the club," Ratcliffe said. "I agree the Erik ten Hag and Dan Ashworth decisions were errors. I think there were some mitigating circumstances, but ultimately they were errors. I accept that and I apologize for that. If you look at the time we made the decision about Erik, the management team hadn't been in place more than 5 minutes, he explained, adding that it was difficult to judge the Dutchman's performance under the previous regime. It became clearer 3 months later and we got it wrong, but we'd moved on. I think we corrected it and we are in a very different place today, he added. A report this week claimed the Ratcliffe and his United bosses had already admitted defeat in their Project 150 goal, targeting the Premier League title in 2028, the club's 150th anniversary. "I don't think it's mission impossible. I think it's good to have goals and objectives," Ratcliffe said. "If you look at Arsenal, if you look at Liverpool, if you look at the period of time it took them to get the house in order and get back to winning ways, that's probably slightly on the short end of the spectrum. But it's not impossible.